I don't feel connected to you anymore, she said quietly, her fingers tracing the rim of her coffee mug as if avoiding the weight of my eyes. The words hung in the air like smoke, thin, grey, and suffocating. I remember the smell of the burnt toast, the soft hum of the fridge, the morning light spilling over her hair like something holy. And yet, nothing felt sacred anymore. Connected. I repeated, the word catching in my throat. She looked up, her eyes calm, too calm. Intimacy, Mark. It's faded. You feel distant. We feel distant. I could hear the blood in my ears, the faint ringing that comes when you realize something irreversible has just happened. So what are you saying? I think, she began, hesitating for a heartbeat, I want to open the relationship. I didn't shout. Didn't slam my mug. Didn't beg or curse. I just nodded. Okay. It was automatic, a reflex of survival. My heart folded in on itself like paper being crushed by an invisible hand. I watched her shoulders relax, relief softening her features, and that hurt more than the words themselves. She was relieved. Okay, she echoed. That's it. What do you want me to say, Leah? No. You've already decided. She sighed, almost disappointed at my composure. I don't want this to hurt you. I just need to feel alive again. I smiled faintly, but inside, something cracked open. I wasn't sure if it was my pride, my heart, or the illusion I'd been living under. That night, I lay beside her in bed, staring at the ceiling fan. She scrolled on her phone, her face lit in that cold blue light that had replaced the warmth of us. I wondered if she was already talking to someone. Her body was close, but the distance was immeasurable. The sheets between us felt like an ocean. I thought of all the small, unspoken things that built our life together, the shared grocery lists, the quiet Sunday mornings, the way she used to look at me like I was her safest place. Now, I felt like her cage. Days passed like ghosts, routine without meaning. Leah started dressing differently, more deliberate, more polished. Her laughter returned, but not for me. Going out with friends. I asked one evening, noticing her perfume, one I hadn't smelled in months. Yeah, she said, glancing at her reflection in the mirror. Just dinner. Don't wait up. She kissed my cheek. It was mechanical, like the way you might pet a loyal dog before leaving the house. When the door shut, the silence screamed. I walked into the kitchen, opened a beer, and stared at the dark window. My reflection stared back, eyes hollow, mouth twisted into something that resembled a smile but wasn't. I didn't check her phone. I didn't want proof. Proof would mean it was real. 2 weeks later, she sat across from me at breakfast, hair damp from a shower. She looked radiant, but in a way that had nothing to do with me. I met someone, she said. I felt the world tilt slightly, but I didn't flinch. Oh. His name's Evan. Easy to talk to. He listens. I nodded slowly. That's good. You're not angry? She asked softly. I'm too tired to be angry. She reached for my hand. I still love you, Mark. This doesn't change that. It was almost funny, the way she could say that as if love were stretchable fabric, something elastic that could expand without tearing. But I didn't call her out. I didn't beg. Instead, I said, I've been talking to someone too. That was a lie. But her expression, momentary shock, then jealousy flickering in her eyes, was worth it. Oh, she said, masking her reaction. Who? Just someone I met at the gym. Nothing serious. It wasn't about revenge. It was about balance. About reclaiming something she'd stolen, the power to decide what hurt me. Weeks blurred into months. Leah's new world grew larger. Mine shrank into silence. She started coming home later, her laughter echoing faintly from the hallway before she entered with an apology that didn't sound like one. Sometimes she'd climb into bed smelling of another man's cologne. I'd lie still, pretending to sleep, breathing through the ache. One night, I got up and went to the living room. The house was dark, the air thick with absence. I sat there, surrounded by shadows, until I realized what I had to do. I opened my laptop. And I wrote to her. I understand now. You wanted freedom, not honesty. You wanted newness, not love. You wanted to feel alive again, but in doing so, you killed what was alive between us. Then, beneath that, I added, I'm opening the relationship too. But for me, it starts with walking away. I printed the note, folded it neatly, and left it on her pillow. She found it the next morning. When I returned later to collect my last box of things, the house smelled different, empty, like the air after a storm. She was sitting on the couch, eyes red, the note crumpled in her hands. Mark, she whispered. I didn't think you'd actually leave. I looked at her, really looked at her, and saw not the woman I'd married, but someone I'd been trying to keep alive long after she'd already gone. I know, I said quietly. That's the problem. I walked out before she could reply. Outside, the air was sharp, clean. The kind that hurts your lungs when you first breathe it in but reminds you you're still alive. As I drove away, I didn't feel peace. Not yet. But I felt something close to it, an ache that finally had space to heal. And for the first time in months, I didn't look back.